fred ved juletid.
Ching chang jingle-ji-lej.
Og bring ham derved sneen hvid.
Ching chang jingle-ji-lej.
Welcome to the Topic of the Episode show, the weekly topic, or we try to have a weekly show at least, where we give you a topic to talk about, and you tell us what you think about the topic. And hopefully you tell us more than we tell you. It's kind of our feedback for the show. We want you to tell us what you think about not only us, but also stuff that we like and you like too. This week's topic was your dream list for a licensed intellectual property outside of gaming to be brought into gaming. Now this is a dream list. This, in my opinion, I think it should include ones that have been done but haven't been done right, maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
But like for instance, I know Alex on Facebook mentioned quite a few. One of the ones that he mentioned was Dune, but done in a Chrono Cross?
Chrono Trigger.
Chrono Trigger aspect. I think that's great. Dune has had a real-time strategy offshoot license game, and it was. But Dune is a great series that, you know, there's enough to be pulled in that way. If we're talking outside of gaming, inside of gaming, I want a Diablo MMO. That's what I've been wanting forever, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But outside of gaming, I think that Ready Player One would be cool, but that's quasi inside. So let's go with Matrix. I think that the Matrix has not had a really good game, and the other one that I would go with is Pirates of the Caribbean, that just keeps missing the mark. Every time they try to do something, it misses the mark, and casual gamers and hardcore gamers get disinterested when they play the games. Not to be confused with the Lego adaptation, because Lego does everything right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alex also mentioned a Doctor Who adventure that goes through the entirety of the Doctor's history. I think that would be a lot of fun as one to be a companion and jump between Doctors. I think that would be a lot of fun.
That would be really cool.
He said a game based on the Death World trilogy. I'm not actually familiar with that. Do you know Death World?
It's not ringing a bell, honestly. Okay. I feel bad not knowing.
So, good luck, Alex. We hope you get that someday. And then he said, modern take on Nightmare on Elm Street, where you don't know if you're good or bad, kind of like Part 2. I thought that would be really interesting.
Part 2, I think that would be interesting. Part 2 deals with like possibly you being evil or possibly being groomed to be evil. So I think that's kind of cool. I'd like to see Sandman done, the Vertigo Neil Gaiman line. Yeah. I think that would be really cool. I think there's a lot of really cool stories that could be told within that. There's so much that could be done. I think that another one that I think would be fun, but also really funny would be like Running Man, like the 80s. The 80s movie. Like, I think that would be really cool. Alien has had a bunch. Alien, I would like to see a good Alien game, because I feel like, to me, the last good Alien game was Alien 3 on the Genesis. I think that's been way too long.
Yeah.
But I'd also like to see a good Blade Runner game. I think that'd be really cool. And the other one that I think that this has been in development hell forever, but Wheel of Time.
Yeah.
Partially because selfishly I want to play it as a video game, because I've tried to get into the books so many times. I have read the first half of the Eye of the World, the first Wheel of Time book, I think 6 times.
Yeah.
And I just lose momentum. And the fact that I can read Dune and Dune is dry, but it keeps me moving. Wheel of Time, it's the Tolkien kind of idea of like, all right, we're gonna have 6 pages on the trees and the history of all this. Like, I don't need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know the history of the trees. I'm sorry, not that much.
Well, staying in fantasy though, the 2 that I would really love to see is Sword of Shannara. That entire series, but in particular the first book, is I think that it would be very well and easily adapted to a video game. And the fact that you would have by about midway through, you would have a party of spoilers for a book that came out in 1987, you would have a class of a Highlander, a quasi-human hobbit almost. You'd have 2 dwarves and a mage. And like you would be able to go through and do that.
Yeah.
And then the other one is Dragonlance, which Dragonlance was originally a D&D campaign that was written. So all of the characters are unique. They have their own weaknesses, strengths, foibles, and all of them are designed in such a way that they would make a really excellent class. And I would love to see that, where you could play it like Dragon's Age Origins in particular, but I would want you to be able to switch between the characters. Origins stretch the limits with, in my opinion, with fully active but pausable action with 3 players. But I think that if you could strain the story a little bit and allow them to split up into groups of 3 at more regular intervals, I think that that's something that could work really well.
That could be cool.
And then the last one we have on here is from Duncan. He says, I've been watching Altered Carbon, and a game where you have to download into a sleeve with different characteristics and deal with the situation. That would be fun.
I would like that if you could do a game like that and it had the mechanic of Zombie for Wii U, and now it's on other things. Because every time you die in that game, you come back as a different person.
Right,
Because
and then your body becomes another one of the antagonists.
Yes, I would like that in a game where you die and you re-sleeve, and like maybe it's someone who like they've hacked in, so they're sleeving you into whatever is available. So your whoever you sleeve into has random stats.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It's like and you know, maybe not 100% random, but like 10 to 15 or so like archetypes. And it's like, oh, well, this guy's really good at this, and this girl's really good at this. And every time you sleeve into someone who has, and you don't know what it's going to be, which would be really cool because, you know, maybe a certain person's faster or can jump higher, and has different bonuses. I think it'd be really interesting.
And then from the chat, Green Crayon says, Spirited Away.
Okay.
I think there's a couple of Studio Ghibli movies that would work really well for this.
Yeah. I think they would work well. To me, they could work well, but it would be all dependent on the story.
Well, I mean, in what I chose to do for the question as I posted was if you could be guaranteed that it would be good. And yes, a lot of these would be really, really hard and huge budget projects. Sure. But there is the potential there, and the people exist to make these products. Plus, it's a wish list.
It's a wish list.
Deal with it.
If you got whatever you wanted, you could get it. So, yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways, let us know in the comments what your favorite IP is that you wish you'd have a video game of, and how you would think it would be done well or better than it currently has been done.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.